Hello guys, so now let's start with our project. So the first thing to do here, let's just go on ahead and open up our favorite IDE. So I'm just gonna open my Android Studio. Depending on your preferences, you can open either Xcode or you can choose your favorite IDE. So in this course, we are going to go with our Android Studio. So I'm using this Android Studio version Electric Eel. So I'm just explaining the version here so that you know which version I'm using. And then I've already also installed my Flutter in my system. So if you haven't, you need to install Flutter. There's just some simple steps that you need to follow. You go to the Flutter documentation and then you install Flutter. We will need it in this course. So after you have installed Flutter and then set it up with your favorite IDE, we can go ahead and start the project. So I must also mention that this Flutter version that we are starting up with this project is a 3.7. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click on a new Flutter project. Okay, so this is my Flutter's directory. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on next. Here I need to rename to give my project a name. So let's just I'm just going to name mine as Open AI Chat GPT. You can name your project and you can give your project whatever name you choose. So we just want to create for Android and iOS. So let's remove this Linux, macOS, web and Windows. And then let's click create. So our project has been created. Okay. Let's close this. Now this is our main screen, which is if we come here and then expand this, we go to the main.dat, which is the screen that we are seeing right here. So the next thing to do is we need our emulator to test this new project that we've just created. So for the emulator, you need to come up here on the device manager. So I have two emulators created on my Android Studio, but in your case, if you haven't, you need to create one. So I'm just going to show you the steps right now. So you need to click on create device here. This screen will pop up, and then from this screen you have to pick what emulator you are going with. So you can scroll down here and select whichever emulator you want to pick. It's if you're going with the Nexus 5, Nexus 6, there's a lot of Android emulators you can choose from here. So once you pick an emulator, for example, let me pick Nexus 5X, and then you just need to click next. And then here, after you click next, if you have not installed any operating system for that emulator, you have to download here. As you can see, there is all of these Android operating systems. So in my case, I already downloaded this one, which is the one installed in my emulators. So for your case, you need to choose here and then just click download. After you have downloaded, like in my case this one that I've already downloaded, you click next, and then from here you can come down here and then you can show advanced settings. From these advanced settings you can change the RAM, you can change the storage of your emulator, all these options, and then after that you just click finish. So I'm not going to click finish because I already installed the emulator. So once you click finish, so let me cancel, your emulator will come up here and it will show. So for me, I have these two emulators. I have got the Pixel 4 and they are both, there's a Pixel 4a and the Pixel 4. So I'm just going to run one of these. So let me run the Pixel 4. After I run it here, I can minimize that. So there's my emulator. So once my emulator is running, I can see that it's selected here, and then now I can go ahead and test this application that we have just created. So our new Flutter project has just launched, and we have a message here which tells us that Flutter supports hot reload. Apply changes to your app in place instantly. So we can close that. That simply means that now whenever we change, that's a good thing about Flutter. Whenever we change things in the code, we can just press on hot restart here, and then we can see the changes instantly. So that was our pop-up here. So now that we have successfully launched our application, if we try to test it, this is just a simple application of once you press here, the counter is going up. This was created by the Flutter team just to demonstrate this application. So now the next thing that we have to do is we want to start with a theme in our application, because in our application we will need the dark theme and the light theme. So that is what we'll start with in this application. First we will create a theme, and then as we go on in our application we will be using that theme. So let's start with that. So for the theme, let's go on ahead and open our favorite browser, and then here let's go to pub.dev. We need to install some packages here. So first of all, let's install the provider package. Search for provider. We can minimize our emulator. So we need this one with 100% popularity. Let's click on here. Let's click on installation. We can copy this, come back to our application. So let's minimize this as well. Let's go to pubspec.yaml file, and then down after the cappuccino icons here, let's paste our package, and then let's go back to the browser again. We need another package. Up here, let's search for shared preferences. We can search for that. Here's the one. Let's click on it, go on installation, and then copy this, and then come back to our application and then paste this as well. Once this is done, let's click on pub-get. Okay, process finished with the exit code 0. That's good. Let's minimize this and close our paps gate. So we can also ignore this. The next thing to do now is let's create our main screen. So if we go up here on the lib here, we have to right click and then go on new and then new directory, and then here let's create our main screens. Let's call this folder as main screens, like that. And then here inside here, let's right click again, new, and then let's create a new .dat file. Let's call this as home screen. Okay, here let's first import our material package, and then down here we type STF for a stateful widget and then click enter. Let's call this as home screen. Home screen, like this. Let's correct that. Okay, and then here, instead of returning this placeholder, let's change this to a scaffold. Okay, inside the scaffold, let's return the up bar. This up bar, it's up bar like that. Let's give it a title. So this title will just simply be a text widget which says chat GPT. And then down here after the title, let's give it this scaffold widget a body. So this body, let's return a center for now. And then this center will have a child. This child will also be a text widget. Let's call this as home screen for now. Okay, so we can add the const modifier here in front of the center to remove these errors, and then also here let's add the const modifier. Okay, so this will be our home screen. So let's bring up our emulator here, and then next, if we go back to the main.dat, we don't need all these comments. Let's remove them. And then, so what we are seeing here is this my homepage that Flutter has created for us. So we don't need this. So from here up to down here, let's remove all this. We delete that. So we delete everything here. So now you see we are calling that my home screen. So instead of calling this, let's call our home screen that we have just created, like that. And then now let's restart our application again. So great. Now as you can see, we are not showing that anymore. We are showing our home screen that we've just created, which is this one. We have the app bar, which is ChatGPT, and then we have a center widget which says home screen. So let's end this video right now. We'll continue in the next video.